Welcome to TNT on a Wednesday afternoon here in Thailand. I'm going to bring you up to date quite quickly and briefly on some of the main issues related to the Thai-Cambodia border clash. Pretty much the things that directly may or may not affect you, including the question, is it safe to travel to Thailand at the moment? The short answer is yes, but I'll give you some more specifics about that in just a moment. But let's just look at some of the press coverage. I'd also thought I'd give you some of my recommendations, how you can follow the progress of this particular conflict with what I think is the most balanced reporting, just my opinion, but I'll leave those links in the description, along with a few articles which I think have been quite good over the past 24 hours or so. Let's start with the BBC. And leaving aside what you may or may not think about the BBC, their international coverage has always been excellent. And they asked the question, why are Thailand and Cambodia fighting at the border? Well, that's a good question, and there's probably politicians on both sides of the border asking exactly the same question. At the moment, it's pretty much the two militaries that are really doing the fighting, and it seems at this stage that the politicians are just keeping out of the situation, both refusing to negotiate at this time. Another thing this BBC article does is it does provide a useful map, and we can see up the top there we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one down the bottom of the provinces directly affected in Thailand, and it's really only the very border areas of those provinces that are affected. And then it lists the 5 provinces in Cambodia that are also directly affected, again, only near the actual border area. And it shows us the proximity down the bottom there of Phnom Penh, the capital. But I added in the red cross is Siem Reap, which is a very popular tourist area, the home of Angkor Wat. And then the blue cross down the bottom there, which is Sihanoukville, which used to be a popular seaside resort, now basically a scam town run by the Chinese. And the article, with its very best intentions, asks the question, what's the border dispute about? Why have border tensions flared up again in December? What happened during the clashes in July? And what's happened to Trump's peace deal? Is it safe to travel to Thailand and Cambodia? Now, just on that one, for those travelling to Thailand, the UK Foreign Office, this is the BBC after all, currently advises against all but essential travel to areas within 50 kilometres of the whole border with Cambodia. In reality, probably 10 or 20 kilometres away from the border you'd be considered quite safe, but the UK Foreign Office saying there within 50 kilometres, it means that 99% of the places that you'd be most likely to go in Thailand, it's still perfectly safe. Pattaya, safe. Bangkok, safe. Chiang Mai, safe. The whole of southern Thailand, except maybe around the border area with Malaysia, safe. Phuket, safe. So if you are coming to Thailand, you really have very few concerns. But if you were considering going to some of those border areas near Cambodia, then probably a good idea to strike that off your list right now. And the only other key question in that article was, why have border tensions flared up again in December? Now, the two sides have given differing versions of what happened. And despite what some people are saying in our comments section, there'd only be a handful of people in army uniforms, some from Cambodia, some from Thailand, which would actually know the answer to that question. So don't claim that you know the answer to that question. Let's talk about what's happening on the ground at the moment. And it says on Monday the Thai army said its troops had responded to Cambodian fire in Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province. One Thai soldier was killed. Then a couple of paragraphs later, however, Cambodia's Defence Ministry said it was Thai forces that had attacked first in Preah Vihear province. Cambodia also insisted that it did not retaliate. And then down the bottom of that section, Cambodia also accused Thailand of firing indiscriminately into civilian areas in its border Pursat province. So the BBC World sort of bird's eye view of the situation has had very good reporting so far. Let's go to some local reporting, firstly from Thailand. And from the horse's mouth, this is Thai PBS World, who is a government English news outlet. According to the Foreign Minister, Thailand not ready for mediation in border conflicts. And he's saying that Thailand's not ready for dialogue with Cambodia or to accept third-party mediation, as the Thai-Cambodia border clashes enter their fourth day. And a spokesman for the government in the next paragraph saying that Thailand will consider having a dialogue with Cambodia only when Thailand is assured that its sovereignty and territorial integrity will no longer be threatened by its eastern neighbour. And then in the next paragraph, the Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has not been contacted by the US President Donald Trump, who said he will call Anutin and Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet to try and stop the ongoing border clashes. Now, when it comes to any sort of de-escalation, any sort of arbitration about a ceasefire, a peace deal, either in the short, medium or long term, there's only 2 seats at the peace table. And those seats should be occupied by the Prime Ministers of Thailand and Cambodia. Now, if there's going to be an arbitrator or any sort of third party involved, it should be ASEAN. And for now, the chair of ASEAN for this year is Malaysia. And so that would fall on the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, who's been involved so far with negotiations, and he would be the one who's already made a phone call and would be helping to arbitrate the situation and bring the 2 leaders together. Beyond that, it's really not much help for anybody else to get involved. This is a bilateral dispute. So I understand that the presidents of Russia and China and the US may in very good faith want to try and scale things down and use any pressure they can, but the only 2 people that are going to sort this out are the leaders of the 2 countries involved. It's a Thai-Cambodia border dispute. It goes back a century. It goes back to the early 2000s when they were arguing about exactly where the border was. It goes back to this year when Thailand has actively been trying to close down the scam centres in Cambodia. It's been about trying to reveal the owners of casinos in Cambodia that operate as scam centres. It's about trying to impound money that's been siphoned through Thailand from Cambodia. So they're all the very, very complex reasons why this dispute is happening. And the fact that both sides are throwing rocks at each other, or some more serious artillery, is little to do with the border and got a lot more to do with politics and, surprise, surprise, money. Further down in that Thai PBS article in the middle there, the Prime Minister of Thailand, Anutin, has declared that there will be no negotiation with Cambodia until the latter demonstrates its sincerity in abiding by the spirit of the peace deal. And then the spokesman says the border dispute will eventually be settled through talks, but the timing is not now. Now, just getting a bit of a Cambodian perspective, let's go to the Khmer Times, published in Phnom Penh, and let's go to some of their headlines. Cambodia collecting evidence for the ICC case over Thai military aggression. Breaking news, over 127,000 civilians displaced as Thai military attacks intensify across 6 provinces. Conflict update. Now, these are all published today. At 12 p.m, Thai forces continue to shell Cambodian civilians. Trump says he will hold phone talks with Cambodian and Thai leaders to end the war. As of 4 p.m. Thai time on a Wednesday afternoon, that still hasn't happened as far as we know, but it's still night time in the US. And then Cambodia orders early withdrawal of athletes from the Southeast Asian Games over safety fears. So 11 Southeast Asian countries involved in the Southeast Asian Games. That will be down to 10. Let's find out more about that story. And we'll go to Channel News Asia, one of the outlets I'd be recommending, published in Singapore. They've got a whole section here about the Thai-Cambodia border dispute, and their headline, Cambodia pulls out of 33rd Southeast Asian Games amid border conflict with Thailand, citing safety reasons. Cambodia participating last night in the opening ceremony, but it looks like they won't be pulling on their running shoes. The article says Cambodia's pulled its entire sporting delegation out of the 33rd Southeast Asian Games hosted this year by Thailand. And the National Olympic Committee of Cambodia has informed organisers of their decision this morning. And then they say, we apologise for any inconvenience this early departure may cause and remain grateful for your understanding and support. And the article notes that this is the first time any country is withdrawn entirely from a Southeast Asian Games. Okay, if you are looking for some just general coverage of what's happening with the Thai-Cambodian border, there's plenty of overseas news organisations. They're basically repeating the same story from probably AFP or Reuters, maybe even going so far as rewriting it. But there's a few that I would recommend. And this might be a little bit controversial for some people, but Al Jazeera are doing some excellent coverage. They've got people on both sides of the border, and they're doing some excellent coverage in some of the areas less widely reported. So I found their coverage very fair and balanced. They're certainly spending a lot of time on this issue and providing quite a lot of detail. Now, here in Thailand, probably the best by far is the Khao English. Their coverage on their Facebook page is sort of blow by blow. And here we go, 10 minutes ago, breaking. In a sign, a Thai-Cambodian clash is about to get even more intense. The Burapha Task Force this afternoon announced a curfew. And then this one, 31 minutes ago, the Burapha Task Force opens 5 battlefronts in the Klong Hat area. And their coverage sort of goes on and on. Plenty of coverage about this particular issue. I think they're doing a very good job, given that they are a Thai publication, at trying to provide fairly balanced coverage. Certainly there's a lot of detail, a lot of information, and from their point of view, a professional commitment to try and be as fair as they can. Now, from the Cambodian side, it's less easy to try and recommend anybody, but if you do want to try and consume some of the information that Cambodian people are reading, the Khmer Times is probably fairly good, providing a lot of information, although it's also providing a lot of misinformation. And the same can be said for the Phnom Penh Post. If you go to their Facebook page, they've also got sort of blow-by-blow descriptions. But as you read it, you can see that a lot of the information is just being spouted by their army and may not necessarily be 100% accurate. I'd be very happy to hear your recommendations as well. There's plenty of paid trolls, some of them getting a lot of traction on platforms like Facebook, but clearly they're buying their traffic and they're really completely unreliable. So understand that there are a lot of trolls providing information on this particular conflict, and I'd urge you to try and be very wary of what you're reading, but happy to hear your recommendations anyway, and we'll do our best to pass those on. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully you're a little bit more up to date on this current conflict. Please subscribe to the channel, and we do look forward to seeing you next time.